Hey guys, it's John. I've got another Raptors video for you here today. We're going to break down all the different lineups you can look forward to this season, the classic starting, bench, and reserve units, but also a template to make any awesome Raptors lineup, as well as when certain players go down due to injury or if they're just resting, who's going to benefit from that and get a little bit more opportunity. All right, starters here. We've got Fred, OG, Pascal, Scotty, and Achua. Now, a little bit of a controversial pick, leaving Gary Trent off here, especially with his huge role last year, but I like him a little bit better as a gunslinger off of the bench. Like I mentioned, off the bench now, we have Gary Trent Jr. at the point guard, Otto Porter, Thaddeus Young, Chris Boucher, and Khem Birch. Now, I like Gary off the bench here because if you look around, there's not a lot of other shot creators here. So him being there, being able to put up tough shots when they need it, as well as playing within that Raptors offensive system is super key. Finally, our reserves here, we've got Jeff Downton, Delano, Champagnie, Juan Hernan-Gomez, and Christian Coloco. Now, I like this one actually a lot because you've got some defense stuff going on here, but also you're not going to be totally screwed on offense because you've got Downton and a little bit of Delano playmaking for you there, creating opportunities. So this unit could actually hold up on its own pretty well. All right, for closers here, Gary Trent's making his comeback. We have Fred, Gary, OG, Siakam, and Scotty Barnes. Now, you could also throw in Achua here in replace of Gary Trent. If you're in the lead, you just want to sort of hold on to things, play a little bit more defense. And also keep in mind here, like I've got Scotty and Siakam, the power forward, small forward, center. I had Otto Porter Jr. earlier as a shooting guard here for this Raptors team. It's super positionless system here with Nick Nurse. The Raptors' depth this season is absolutely ludicrous. Like, let's just go through this list here. Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, Chris Boucher, Thaddeus Young, Precious Achua, Otto Porter Jr. And this isn't even talking about some people that might turn into solid NBA players this year too. Christian Coloco, Jeff Downton, Champagnie, and Delano. I expect at least one of those guys to make that jump. You got 10 or 11 solid NBA players here. This seems super well built to survive this regular season, go through injury, go through rest, and really finish strong in those Eastern standings. Okay, like I promised at the beginning, I've got a template here to make any awesome Raptors lineup. So you need two ingredients. One is a scorer, and the other one is 4 forwards. So some examples here, you take Fred or you take Gary, and you put them together with any other combination of those guys on the right, and you're gonna have one heck of an NBA roster, especially with Nick Nurse's system, where everyone's doing a little bit of the playmaking. They're all helping each other out on defense, all over the place, super athletic, super versatile. That makes this Raptors team super easy to, if someone has an injury, you slot someone in there. Now, that's easy to say for the forwards. The scorers is a little bit harder because you've only got Fred VanVleet, you've got Gary Trent Jr., but who's really that third scorer? I don't know. Is it Malachi Flynn? I don't know. That's a little rough there. Is it Jeff Downton coming up from the G League? I mean, that's a lot of pressure. I might actually be a little bit more confident in him doing it, but they are lacking in that respect. Okay, my first guy I'm worried about replacing this season is going to be OG Anunoby. Last season, he missed 36 games. Now, when this inevitably does happen at some point, maybe he's resting, maybe he's got a little knick-knack injury like that finger one last year, I'd expect Gary Trent to fill that role as the starting shooting guard. But that's going to mean more minutes for some of these guys too. Like Fred VanVleet, he's going to have an even bigger load on his shoulders, and also Otto Porter Jr., because OG is actually one of the better shooters on this team, and the Raptors really are lacking in elite shooting. Okay, the next player I'm going to be worried about replacing is Fred VanVleet. Now, last season, he only actually missed 17 games, but he played through a heck ton more of those with injury problems. So when he's out for rest or for injury, I expect Gary Trent to slot into that starting unit. And to make up for the shooting, we've got Otto Porter Jr. and OG Anunoby. Now, you notice that's the same thing I talked about in that last slide with OG Anunoby when he goes down. So that shows a big weakness here for the Raptors in terms of depth. Yes, they have tons of these big forwards that they can slot in no matter who's going down. They have tons of these guys, but they really are lacking in scorers and in shooters. Now, another thing to mention too is if Fred's going down, some of the playmaking, some of the ball handling, I can see that being taken over by Jeff Downton. He's solid there. So the last guy I'm worried about replacing here is Pascal Siakam. Now, last season he only missed 14 games, but he played the most minutes per game of any player in the NBA at just under 38 minutes per game. Now, when this happens, again, Gary Trent is going to slot into that starting unit, and we're going to need a little bit more strength and size to make up for Pascal being gone. Now, luckily, this is something the Raptors are equipped to do. We've got Boucher, Thaddeus Young, and Precious Achua ready to slot in there, get a little bit more opportunity and more playing time. All right, guys, so going through these lineups, I think we've learned a few things. One, an easy way to make any awesome Raptors lineup. You take one scorer and four of those strong forwards, slap them together, and you're going to have a pretty solid team on offense and on defense. We also saw where some of the weaknesses in the Raptors lie in terms of depth. They have so much depth at that forward spot, so those four guys on the floor, but they are really lacking when it comes to scoring and shooting. It's just really Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent that you're super comfortable with people doing that. Now, I know Siakam can also fill that role, so maybe that's more of an option if one of those two guys goes down. But I really hope we can see somebody like maybe Jeff Downton step up, or Malachi Flynn finally have that breakthrough. I'm praying, man, I'm praying. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave it down in the comments, your favorite lineup from this template here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.